bad habits that show up in scrims but won't really go on stage, and then just like scrim and stage difference is pretty. It's like it's a big difference. So I guess that's where the denying scrims come from.
This is Azento from Esports Heaven, and I have here with me Dhokla from Optic Gaming. And you just had an insane game. You were rushing down the base at the end on Yorick, surprisingly. Yeah. How were the comms just at the very end? Because I know it had to be somewhat a little hectic.
Yeah, so after like Baron was coming up, I think 30 seconds, and then I just grouped mid. So we were going to contest mid-wave, or just in my head, no one said it out loud, just we're going to contest mid-wave because that's just how you play Baron situation. And when I saw like no one was contesting mid, they were all on Baron's side, I'm like, okay, this is a 4v5, this is late game, everyone should be max items, like I can just run down mid because it's open inhib. And then once I saw like how long it would take for them to do Baron, I was just screaming like, stop the base, you know, I'm about to open the gates and stuff, and then yeah, it's just like, just stop the base, that's pretty much it.
So what's so special about Yorick? Like what makes him a good champion in your eyes, or at least for this game?
Well, Yorick is like okay into GP. I don't think it's like a full-on lane bully, but later on as it goes, GP, Yorick's just too strong for GP to handle. Even with like 6 items, Yorick just does more damage. So then it looked good in that situation where they didn't have that much CC, so yeah.
So, well, you got that 1v2 kill also, which was pretty gangster. Yeah. So you've kind of solidified yourself as like this carry style top laner, because you're previously known for what, Camille and a little bit of Jace and Fiora, and then now this pick, Yorick. So how are you enjoying the top lane meta so far?
Well, it's pretty wild. Like, you can play pretty much anything. There's some picks that might come out that no one really expects. I don't want to say anything, but just there's probably more picks. Like we saw Quinn and LCK, and I think that could have a place in top lane as well.
Dropping a little couple hints, you know. It does not gonna say anything. No analysts look at this video.
Yeah,
just
of course. It's just an injury, yeah. So I think top lane meta is just almost the Wild West right now. Like there's like the defined meta of like what you usually want, and then there's like the counter pick meta. Like it can go anywhere with it.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of Lorlo as a top laner?
Well, I think he's just a standard top laner, I'd say. Like he just does his role, I guess. Yeah, that's it.
Well, so he's been known as like this top laner that really hasn't surged up as being like a premier top laner, because all the other top laners like Huni or Haunter or Someday even now has his surge.
Yeah, Someday's insane.
Yeah, so like how is it facing top tier top laners? Like do you view yourself as like someone who has difficulty with, you know, the likes of say Someday or Huni?
Yeah, like Someday and Huni, they're like pretty insane in laning. Like they don't let you off the hook for really any mistake that you do. So like against like other top laners, like sometimes they might not punish on like small mistakes, but Someday definitely, he knows, like he's just super solid top laner, like barely makes mistakes. And yeah, Huni as well, like he plays really aggressive playstyle, but he's really confident in his play, and yeah, they just win games through him. So there's definitely a disparity between those two players and the rest of the league.
Okay. So JJ said something interesting on stream earlier about the lower tiers teams scrimming against each other and developing their own meta. So has this really been the case? Have you guys been able to develop your own meta as like Optic, in Golden Guardians and FlyQuest? Did you guys have the ability to develop a meta that was better than, say, TSM and Cloud9 and all the likes of the top teams?
Well, I don't know which meta is better, but like like we definitely have like our scrim partners that we form a meta with, and then we don't really see what the enemy's meta is. Like TSMs, we don't know what their meta is until it's shown on stage, or like how they want to play. So I think all metas are viable. It's just like who can execute on their like win conditions with their champs better. And then like I feel like the more easier the champs that you can execute with, the less burden of execution you have. So it tends to look strong. But if you play correctly, then any meta can win. But it's just burden of execution. Yeah.
So do you have a problem with these teams, say the top teams, kind of denying scrims from lower teams? Because I've heard this before, and there has been a conversation about it before of, top teams not really wanting to scrim bottom tier teams because they don't feel like it's good practice. So is this kind of like validation to say like maybe you guys should have scrimmed us?
Well, scrims and stage are like completely different. So like in scrims, they might not see it as like good scrim partners, because like sometimes like you don't want to waste time with like just like bad habits that show up in scrims but won't really go on stage. And then just like scrim and stage difference is pretty, it's a big difference. So I guess that's where the denying scrims come from. Like, yeah.
Okay. Well, let me switch gears here to content creation, because there's been some, I guess, flack for Optic about creating content. And I know that you guys actually do have a series, but I was watching it and it was a mixture of like another esports title along with coverage for League of Legends. So how do you feel about Optic's content creation? Do you think you guys should have a little bit more focus on it? And it seemingly is like Optic doesn't have a lot of focus on content creation. So does that allow you to, I guess, get more practice? Or is that even the case?
So we had a series last split, our own series, but the producer of the series got taken away because he needed to fill another spot. So it's like a job opportunity for him, and he took it. So we're filling in the position, and now we have a videographer. I think that's the word.
Yeah.
So now we're about to film content now, since we got some new hires. And I think Vision has just been like a thing of Optic, where like this is like Optic Gaming, like they're showing all of their esports teams, and then they're just showcasing it on one series. So I think that's just Optic Gaming as a whole. And then they've been doing this for a long time now, so it makes sense to incorporate us in it.
Okay.
But we definitely have content coming out recently, so we did some Q&As, and I think we should be having more content in the future. So look out for that.
Yeah, I guess
more
I'll look
Canadian
forward
vlogs
to that.
too, you know?
Yeah. And the vlogs are top tier.
Yeah, I'll make a guest appearance sometime.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that one, so we'll have to be on the lookout for that. Well, in the meantime, this has been Azento from Esports Heaven with Dhokla from Optic Gaming, and maybe I'll see you next time. But otherwise, thanks for the interview.
Thank you.
I assume if you made it this far, you probably enjoyed the content. So if you did, subscribe, and also check out my other content that's more analytical and opinionated. But otherwise, keep it locked at esportsheaven.com, and I'll see you next time. Peace.